paying attention.
Yeah, so right. Exactly.
Here we are.
Just here by ourselves.
Yep. We're just gonna have the same conversation we've been having for 2 hours.
It's like we always say, we could lead the horses to the water. We're just whether or not they want to drink it is up to
Can't
them.
put the bets in for them.
Cannot put the bets in for them.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm so excited. Now that I feel like I was a little hesitant earlier when I was just looking at all of the Sports Insight stuff. And now that we talked through a lot of it, I feel much better about certain things. And I took the market stuff out of it and used that to our advantage on a couple games. And now it's I feel very comfortable with a couple of these bets.
Well, I'm glad you did that now because for the next hour, you're about to see a Christmas tree on Sports Insights, right? So
I know.
Kind of just the whole book's going to light up for an hour as everything's moving around.
It really is. All right, well, I think we just go. Let's go.
Let's get to it.
There you go.
Everybody, first official live stream. Week 1 is here. It is finally here. It is Christmas Day for all of us grown men. Soon to be America's favorite football talk show, 12 o'clock on Sunday. Without a doubt in my mind. We have the faces and personalities for TV. So, yeah, we're TYP, and we're going to dive deep into the entire NFL Sunday slate. And, yeah, Sean, bring that question up that you just asked us a couple minutes ago.
All right, what are you two specifically looking to get answered today? What questions are you looking to get answered today around the NFL?
My first one is are the Vikings still the little brothers of the Packers? And then that to me is the biggest question that I've had all off season. And we're going to find out in a couple hours.
A lot of money today coming in saying that, Minnesota is no longer the little brother. So we'll see. That's a good one. I've invested heavily, at least from a fantasy perspective, in Trey Lance. I'm really excited to see what Trey Lance is going to do with San Fran this year. So I'm anxious to see how they handle Chicago in Chicago this week. I don't know if I'm going to get any questions answered, but again, waiting to see how Trey Lance takes the reins in San Fran. That's one for me today.
Yeah, I mean, that could change the entire scape of the NFC and Super Bowl betting as a whole if he's really one of those guys. The question I'm definitely looking to answer is the Dolphins. I need to see what Tua is about. Is he ready for all the expectations? And now he's got the weapons, the defense. They have a great secondary. I need to see Tua lead a football team to the playoffs.
Yeah, wow, those are 3 good ones. I like how no one went with the Birds either.
No one went with the Birds. No one went with the Chargers. No one went with the Broncos. There are a lot of questions to answer today.
There are. All right, well,
let's get
hopefully.
To it, though.
Definitely.
I can't wait. Let's get to it. Baltimore Jets, 6.5 in New York or New Jersey, I guess I should say. Someone kick us off.
I'll tell you, right away, this is the biggest contrarian play of the week. So if you want to go against the public, you go with the Jets. The line is so weird on this one. It was 7 this week, 7.5. It's down to 6.5 now at most places. Over 80% of the tickets and money on Baltimore. Just a heavy public play on Baltimore. I'm not taking the Jets as a side, but I think that's your contrarian play this week. I like teasing Baltimore down to a 0.5 point. In combination with Green Bay and the Niners, and we can get to that later. So I like that. But otherwise, that's really all I have on this one.
I don't have the stomach for the Jets week 1.
Not right?
Week 5, if that was the spread and I was seeing that on the board, I'd be like, I'm ready for this. But week 1, there's so much else out there. It's a total stay away play, but I could definitely see that one just getting weird.
But wait, Sean, didn't you bring up the point what do you think about Flacco starting for the Jets? Do you think that gives them a better chance this week than if it was Wilson?
No, I think when you sign up for Joe Flacco to be on your football team, you're signing up for a loss, especially against a team that's so great in the trenches like the Ravens are. I mean, Joe Flacco can't move out of the pocket. He can't throw the ball. I'm not sure he knows what he's looking at anymore. There's no way that personally I would put my money on the Jets. I'm on the other side of that. Well, not all. It's just an opinion, lean. But, I mean, the Ravens are too good. They ended the year last year on a 6-game losing streak. Lamar trying to get the big bag. They're too grown, I think, for the Jets week 1. But, again, just an opinion, just a lean.
I definitely think they win the game. If you want to combo that money line and with something else, I think Baltimore wins the game.
Next up, we got the Saints and Atlanta. In Atlanta, Saints laying 5.5.
That's another weird one to me. New coach in New Orleans. And I don't know if he might not be a bad coach, but losing Sean Payton definitely hurts any organization he was coaching at besides like the Patriots. So to me, that's why that line hasn't moved, because so much money on the Saints, but it's still sitting at 5.5. That's just weird to me, especially against like a trash can of a football team in the Atlanta Falcons. But I could definitely see that one getting weird again. I think the Saints are a really good football team. They should handle business, but historically they always come out of the gates stumbling, especially when they are big favorites week 1.
Yeah, Atlanta's a lean for me at 5.5. It's so weird to not take it, but I'll stay off making it official. 5.5 is a lean. Similar to Baltimore and New York, it's a contrarian play. You got like 30% of the tickets and count coming in on Atlanta. So I just think there's also a lot of trends. If you look out there, there's trends in favor of division home dogs in week 1 and just teams coming off bad seasons, being undervalued. So Atlanta's a stronger lean for me than from the Jets from the contrarian play perspective, but that's really it for me on this one.
Yeah, I think the Saints could be one of the more complete teams in the NFL this year from top to bottom when we're talking about rosters. But like Mike said, losing Sean Payton, I'm not signing up for that game 1. I don't know. I haven't seen you without Sean Payton. I didn't see Jameis enough last year with the Saints to really believe that he's got the whole turnaround thing going. It's a pass for me. Next, though, I got a play on this game, all right? We got the Patriots and the Dolphins in Miami. The Patriots seem like they can never win in Miami. What do you guys think?
Well, so what I recall, and Sean, correct me if I'm wrong, because Mike and I were discussing this week, and I think we might have to go back to the tape. But during the AFC preview, I believe Mike live bet me Miami. He took 2.5 for New England. I laid 2.5 with Miami at home, right?
I seem to remember something about a wager.
But I'll tell you this much: I love New England at 3.5. If that's your play, if that's your play, I'll ride with you, brother, there, because I see this game as a field goal. Ultimately, I think it does come down to a field goal. Hopefully in Miami's favor, and I would try to middle Mike there with you between the books and Mike. But for me, yeah, I lean Patriots at the current number, seeing it rise over a field goal.
The way I see it, I got a great number, and I was way ahead of the ball game, taking the Dolphins at 2.5. That's the way I'm going to look at it. I want no parts of that football game, but I'm more than happy to take that wager with you today, especially knowing I have that past the key number.
No, you have the Pats only at 2.5. I laid the 2.5.
That's what I have. Oh, I hate this. Okay, all right, whatever. That's what I'm taking. So I'm so angry about that.
You go back and look at it, I'm pretty certain you were like, all right, make sure you write this down because I will forget this when the time comes week 1.
A lot of other things going on. I mean, to Sean's point about the biggest questions you want answered week 1.
Sure.
The Patriots always have a hard time in Miami for some odd reason. But now that there's so much sizzle around the Dolphins, the only thing that's nice about the Eagles is the Dolphins may have gotten the same amount of preseason hype around them just from adding a couple toys. So to me, give me the big brother of that division over the Dolphins, but that's not an official play for me. That's just a personal play with me and Rob, and I hate that I have them at 2.5.
Yeah, well, hopefully this can give you a little more confidence. You got someone like me, a great bettor, on the Patriots, plus 3.5 in Miami. I'm putting my money here down to Tua, you got to prove it to me. And I'm willing to pay to find out. I got a pissed off Belichick getting questioned about every little thing, how he runs his camp, who's the offensive coordinator, is it Patricia, is it Joe Judge? It's Bill Belichick. It's Bill Belichick's team, and I'm paying to find out what Tua's about today.
What's the total number on that right now?
The total for the game I'm seeing is 46.5. It looks like.
So they're saying to me that that's going to be a Patriots-style football game. They're going to dictate the way that game is played at that number.
I would think so. I mean, Belichick versus Mike McDaniel. We don't even know who this guy is. He's a goofy little guy. He likes making everybody laugh. But, I mean, we got the greatest coach of all time on the other side. A pissed-off greatest coach of all time.
Oh, I forgot. That's that guy that looks like a back office accountant.
Yeah, he's like my size. He's like 5'8", 117 pounds. Like, I'm not buying it, man. You got to coach grown men.
Give me Bill and his goofy son versus that guy all day.
Absolutely.
It's great. I got Sean hyping Mike up more. So anytime we want to double up on that, that's good.
For sure. Next, we got Cleveland and Jacoby Brissett going down to Carolina to take on Baker Mayfield in his revenge game.
I'm not going to start off by stealing your point that you made earlier this morning. To me, the first official play that I have on this card is the Browns at +1. I just think the Browns have a better all-around roster than the Panthers. Matt Rule still hasn't proven anything as an NFL football coach. And also, Jacoby Brissett and Baker Mayfield at this point in their careers kind of are the same exact quarterback. Is it a major step down from Deshaun Watson? Absolutely. But I still think the Browns should be able to beat the Panthers. That's my take.
What was my point? I don't remember my point from this morning.
That Baker's an absolute gamer.
Like, gotcha. Yeah, gotcha.
Baker's definitely going to show out today. He's going to play ball. But I just don't know if he is going to be able to do enough against Myles Garrett and Jadeveon Clowney. That's like a quiet duo over there with all the other big ones that we'll get to. But like, that's one of those that we were talking about, that one of those three combinations we talked about earlier are going to end up with a couple of sacks combined. So they could definitely get after Baker. And that's like a revenge game type of thing for them, because apparently there was all that animosity between him and the rest of the locker room. So give me the Browns.
I'm riding with you, Mike, on the Browns. I like the Browns at +1. Again, it's another play where you could fade the public on this one because you're getting a lot of support for the Mayfield revenge story. I think you just play it against the public and fade that with Cleveland. And I also agree with you. I think Cleveland's just overall, if you take out the quarterback matchup, I think they're just a better team than Carolina. And I just don't trust Matt Rule. I hate to say it. I like Matt Rule, but he hasn't, again, to your point, I'll pay until he shows me otherwise. Sean, I'll do the same thing with Matt Rule that you'll do for Tua. So I'll side with you, Mike, and pick Cleveland with the game.
Yeah, I thought about trying to find some way to back Baker here because I do believe he is a gamer and just has that, like, fuck you in him. Like, if you're going to do him wrong, he's going to come back and show you. I thought about taking his over passing yards, but that defensive line does scare me a little bit. I don't know enough about Carolina's offensive line. It's just going to be a complete pass for me, but I'm not mad at looking at the Baker total yards over. I think it was 220.5. But we can head on to Cincinnati, and we got the Steelers, a big dog going into Cincinnati.
Yeah, I'm not going to steal your shine, Sean. Take it away. I know this is one of your favorites. Take us right into Cincinnati and tell us why you love what you love here.
Yeah, I have a great respect for the Steelers as an organization and Mike Tomlin as just a general and a leader. You're not talking. The way people have been talking about the Steelers has really been bothering me this offseason. They talk about them like they're the Jets, like they're going to win 4 or 5 games. I mean, this is a minimum to me of a 7-win football team. You're giving me 7 points coming off a loss in the Super Bowl. I think the Steelers are going to be hungry today. I really do. I'm taking the +7 with the Steelers.
Yeah, I love it. In fact, I bought in on the Steelers earlier in the week. We were talking about how much we like the Steelers at 6.5, and then we're talking this morning, and in real time we see it shoot up as high as 7.5. And I was like with you, I was like, all right, well, let's go, let's double dip. I got in on the 7.5, even though it made me a little weary. Comes back down to 7, makes me feel pretty good at getting that 6.5 and 7.5. I don't hate sprinkling a little money line on the Steelers either. So I'm in for it at the 6.5 and 7.5. And yeah, again, Mike Tomlin as a underdog, great against the spread record. Again, division dog early in the season, like that trend as well in favor of Pittsburgh. And the more I look at the board, it becomes evenly split matchup on the spread. But I like where we sit with the 7.5.
Black Air Force gang.
Yeah,
I feel like that's all I need to say about this game. If you're going to really disrespect them like that, Mike Tomlin is – as much as I've hated on him, Sean, we've known each other for a long time. I've given him a lot of grief. But as a man, He is that dude. And when I saw that video, I'm like, give me the Steelers. I'm riding with you. That's an official play for me. All the stars are aligning between the three of us, which is scary and problematic. So maybe everybody should wean off of that and consider the Bengals. But give me the Steelers.
Red flag.
Yeah, absolutely. It's just it's too good of a team, a roster as a whole, I think, to be giving this team 7 points. They're already disrespected enough. Head down to Chicago. Trey Lance making his, I guess not really debut. He played a little bit last year, but making his debut as a starter in Chicago.
I got nothing. I think it's going to be sloppy. I'm just going to be brutally honest. I truly don't care that much. I think the Niners are going to be good. I'm interested to see how Trey Lance plays, but I have absolutely nothing to say about that football game. Pass.
Yeah, no, it's a pass for me as well, dog. I'm going to go with the teaser I mentioned earlier, teasing Niners down. I do think they win the game. I think it is going to be sloppy. It's going to be ugly. Betting market says the same thing. You got 81% of the money coming in on half the ticket count for the under at 38 points, right? So that's just telling us sloppy, ugly game. I don't like the Niners laying the 6.5. It was as high as 7 earlier. I don't like it either way. I would actually like Chicago to cover the 7, but not willing to dip in on that at 6.5. Again, yeah, just total pass for me. Expect this one to be a mess. But like I said, anxious to see how Trey Lance does in that starter role, Sean.
Yeah, I just I'm with Mike. I got nothing. I just have a PSA if anybody's actually watching this thing. It is very rainy in Chicago. It seems like it's going to be a monsoon. Just be careful with props and anything overs, anything like that heading into the game.
That's a good PSA. That's good work by you. That's next level.
Just trying to do my job for the people.
Love that.
Up next, we're heading down to Houston. Matt Ryan makes his debut as a Colt against Davis Mills.
I'm going to pass quicker than Michael in the last game. You could play Colts in a money line parlay, maybe keep them down. Yeah, pass from there.
Colts are one of my favorite teams going into the season. It's a big spread with a new quarterback. Texans have nothing to lose week 1. Colts have everything to lose in this game. That's just the way I feel about it. That is, don't touch anything in that football game. I could definitely see that one getting sloppy, and just leave it alone. Not worth it.
Yeah, I agree. I'm with you there 100%. Another new quarterback. That's 3 or 4 years in a row of getting a new quarterback. The last 2 or 3 years, they've lost outright to Jacksonville, I believe. Maybe both years. They just haven't really shown up week 1 under Frank Reich, so it's a complete pass for me. We go to the nation's capital to visit our friend Carson Wentz, playing our other friend. Yeah, right, playing our other friend Dougie P.
What were you?
We got a 3-point line there.
I like the Jaguars going in like all week up until today. That was almost going to be an official play for me, but now I have to switch sides because apparently the Jaguars are like America's darling. Looking at the market, and when you really think about it, they had Christian Kirk. Who cares? They haven't done anything. Dougie P's a great coach. I mean, they should put a statue of that man in front of Lincoln Financial Field. But besides that, like, give me the Commanders, better team all around. And yeah, that's an official play for me. Give me the Commanders -2.5.
Yeah, I had this game at a field goal in favor of the Commanders. I like them to win by a field goal. So whether it's them at 2.5 or the Jags at 3, I kind of like both numbers, but there's leans for me. What I really like though is Trevor Lawrence. I like Trevor Lawrence taking the step forward in his next year. I like him working. I want to see how he works with Dougie P and the impact Dougie P can have working with him. I think it's going to be a little bit more stable there in Jacksonville. Obviously we know what was going on last year with Urban Meyer. So give me over 1.5 touchdown passes today for Trevor Lawrence. I think there could be some scoring in this one. I got that at 125 plus 125 on UK earlier today. So I like that as my player prop of the week.
Yeah, it looks like this line opened at 4.5 and has been bet down to as low as 2.5. I mean, I think all the value's gone. Jacksonville's not somebody I'm looking to bet early in the year. Maybe as they get go on a little bit and become more of a cohesive unit under Doug, I do think they'll be better than previous years. But I mean, I have no interest in laying in getting 3 points against the Redskins. Everybody likes Jacksonville. That's a no-go for me.
Yeah.
We'll head down to Arizona. Pat Mahomes and the Chiefs are laying 6.5 in Arizona.
Yeah, again, this is another pass for me. I think this line has climbed. I think this one opened at 3.5, Sean, and then climbed all the way up as high as 6. I see 6 and 6.5, depending on where you're shopping now. I don't like that much this early with the Chiefs team, especially the Chiefs team, it's pretty down on when we were doing our NFC preview. So curious to get his thoughts on this one now that this line's gotten this big. And at the same time, I don't see enough to take the points in Arizona on this one. So I'm just staying away.
These are two teams I just don't particularly care for this year. One of them is going to win. I really don't know which one it's going to be. My gut's telling me that the Chiefs might roll the Cardinals, but besides that, I got nothing to add that would contribute to this conversation at all. So I'm just going to pass it along.
Yeah, we appreciate you not wasting our time. I was looking for a way to bet the Cardinals here. Without Rondale Moore, not that he's the end-all, be-all, but I need all of my compliments to go complement of weapons to go up against Pat Mahomes and the Chiefs. Another team I am down on, but it's just going to be a pass for me. Maybe the greatest game of the weekend, possibly. A lot more questions to be answered in this one. We have Derek Carr going to L.A. to face Justin Herbert and the Chargers. 3.5 points that they're favored by.
This is the best game of the week. Without a doubt in my mind, this game will answer a lot of questions early about both the Raiders and the Chargers. Man, that Chargers defense is tough, but my gut really tells me the Raiders, and it being a tight spread kind of makes me question things and lean Raiders, but I just don't know if I'm ready to fade the Chargers this early in the season. That's going to be a good one. I can't make an official play on that, but I definitely do lean Raiders.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. I lean Raiders. I think the ticket counts are even on the spread of 3.5, but 70% of the money coming in on the Raiders. A lot of big money on the Raiders, but not enough so that I'm going to take the 3.5. That's which way I would lean in pick'ems and stuff, but not enough to make it an official play. I think it is going to be a great game. We're picking up right where we left off last year, right? This was the game that ended last year's regular season, and it was probably the best game of the year, right? So to have these guys going at it week one, that's awesome, and glad that we'll be able to, at least catch it on red zone. I know we were chatting before we came on about what was being covered here on our side in the late afternoon slot, but looking forward to seeing how these teams match up this early.
Yeah, unfortunately, we won't be able to see that on cable, but it is two Super Bowl contenders for me at least. I would lean to the Raiders getting the points. I would really lean to any team in this matchup getting points. But I think I'm just going to watch, but I think we could get a lot of questions answered today about the Raiders defense. I'm curious to see how that secondary can hold up against Justin Herbert and the boys, because I do think their D-line will be firing on all cylinders today. Another great matchup, interdivision matchup. Aaron Rodgers going. Wait, did we already do that one or no?
Now we have to Minnesota.
Oh, okay. Yeah, okay. Yeah, let's go to Minnesota. Head Aaron Rodgers versus Kirk Cousins. What do we got?
We keep each other honest here. We're this
right.
Is often people. This is this is going to be one of my biggest regrets of the week, Sean, because I think we were talking earlier. I like Minnesota coming into the week, and then this morning there's the Alan Lazard news. He's out today. We were going back and forth. There's no way Alan Lazard is having a 3-point impact on the line. So I think it's a combination of that and other people, like semi-smart people like us, thinking, Minnesota going in, and then there's some late movement today on Minnesota. So much so that I think the value is out as them now laying anywhere from 2 to 2.5. Like I mentioned earlier, I now like teasing Green Bay up with taking a couple of the 6.5 point favorites down, Niners and Ravens. But for me, unfortunately, all Minnesota values out. I do like them to win the game, though.
After seeing that and all the games I like going into this weekend, made me realize that I was thinking very square between the Jags and the Vikings. I'm just like seeing everyone else love the Vikings when you haven't done it yet, and everyone fading the Packers. I just can't. I'm the first guy to say fade Aaron Rodgers, but I'm not going to do that when everybody else is already ruling him out. Like, he is still the top dog in that division. I can't back the Vikings week 1 facing the Packers, being the favorites, and everybody else loves them. It's just weird to me. It's too much love for the Vikings, and that made me stay away from it.
Yeah, in my opinion, all the value's gone here at -2, -2.5, whatever you're looking at the book you're shopping at. I have the Vikings from earlier in the week, but it's not something I would give out now. And maybe if you're doing a fantasy or like a daily fantasy thing, you look at Romeo Doubs in place of Alan Lazard. But that's about it. That's all I got for that game. The Giants in Tennessee. The Giants are catching 5.5, it looks like right now.
I love the Giants.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
You said that out loud?
I love the Giants. And it's not even like I love the Giants more, so I just really want to fade the Titans. I just don't know how they're going to score. And there's a lot of question marks in New York. A lot of guys that like really need to make a statement to get a real contract coming off of rookie deals. So I have a feeling that they are going to at least produce this year. Giants getting that many points. I lean heavily Giants. I don't want to tell anybody else to take the Giants, but I definitely lean Giants in that game.
I'm taking the Giants, so I'll put it out as official. I tell people to take. It's okay by me, right? Like what makes it a play for me is that it's been so weird all week. It's held at that 5.5 all week, while big money has poured in on the Giants and still holds in favor of the Giants. Yet that line's still at plus 5.5, or I think it's down to 5 at some spots, depending on where you're shopping. So I like it at 5.5. It's staying there. I don't see it moving in the next half hour. Yeah. Buy in at the Giants at 5.5.
Yeah, I agree with you, Rob. I think the Giants are a live dog today. I think the Tennessee's offense is going to struggle severely, especially in the early parts of this season. I fucking hate Ryan Tannehill. I mean, they have no receivers. It's just not a team that I'm looking to back at all. I like your play with the Giants today for sure.
All right, Sean. You know what? That makes me think that Giants Steelers combo, a little sprinkle, might be live.
Yeah, I'm not mad at that at all. A little money live,
That's tasty.
Parlay or something for sure.
What that plays out, but a little something for make sure we get the thoughts out there to people. I think that might be live.
Yeah, absolutely. We got our Sunday Night in America game. Tom Brady goes down to Dallas, laying 2.5 points against Dak Prescott and the boys.
Yeah, I've already given the people the take on this one. Hopefully they waited a little bit, because as soon as I put out 50.5 on the total when we did the preview earlier in the week, it did shoot up to 51 the following day. I was wondering what was going on there with the jump. I really thought that this one was going to come down. It has since come back down. It's at 50.5 or 50, depending on where you're shopping. I like the under here. Both offensive lines going through some changes or bang up. Brady's absence throughout the preseason. Just again, week 1 rhythm. Again, all the reasons to me say under on this one. So I'm sticking with it.
I'm with you on the under, especially the general public's going to be chasing their tails come nighttime. They're all going to bet overs. That's what everybody wants to see. The game, I really don't know how that one's going to shake out. I don't want to pick a side. Brady not being around, Chris Godwin's question marks. Like, is he healthy? Is he not? Apparently there's snap counts. I mean, they still have plenty of weapons over there. But everybody over there got a little older. And the Cowboys, just another team with a ton of question marks. I mean, the thing that worries me about the Cowboys is no one's talked about them all off season. So now, like, that there isn't Cowboy hype going into the season, I do get worried that they might go on a little bit of a tear early on until they do start getting national recognition again. And then they fizzle out like they always do. But I could definitely see the Cowboys running with the Bucs here on this one.
Yeah, I'm not mad at that. I might lean that way. It's not a play for me. I love Rob's play of the under. You get fading the public in prime time. You get two teams with a lot of offensive line injuries, banged up, holding calls, backups, whatever, fumbles, turnovers. When he said that last week, a little light bulb went off in my head. I really like that play from Rob. Monday night, you got something to say, Rob?
I was going to say, you guys both mentioned that public money coming out. If anybody hasn't put it in yet, it might be worth waiting to see if public money goes in on the over towards the end of the day, pushes that back up to 51, or 50 and a half, depending on where you're shopping, somewhere 50. But I wouldn't go lower than 49 if it dips. Not that I think it goes that way. I think, like you guys said, if you're expecting public money to drive it up, maybe wait a little bit.
For sure, and I don't think you'll get penalized for waiting either. Even if it goes down to 50, you still have 50, but you could get the 51.
You can get the 50 and a half's out there. So
right,
yeah,
for sure. All right, let's Monday Night Football real quick. I don't have much on this game. Russell Wilson and the Broncos going down to Seattle Monday Night Football, laying 6.5, 7.
My biggest problem with this game is that this is what they scheduled week 1 Monday Night Football. I don't care. No one cares about Russell going back to Seattle. I would lean Seattle just because everybody's going to take the Broncos, but I'm not going to touch that game. I wouldn't touch it with a 10-foot pole, but I'm more so just mad that that's what is going to be on TV.
Yeah, I don't have a play on this one. I think there's a pretty big disparity with the money that makes me lean Seattle. I'm not going to buy 6.5. If it gets to 7, again, still a lean for me. I'm not going to back Seattle very often, if at all, this year. And just, like you said, like to have them as the first Monday night game. And mind you, we don't even have a Monday night doubleheader this week. That's next week. And even then, it's the Eagles game, so we don't really get to enjoy the doubleheader. But I don't know. I don't like the Monday night scheduling so far. I agree. I'm staying away from that.
Yeah, I'm going to take a page out of Mike's book. I'm not going to waste anybody's time. We all have better things to do. But the last game for the week, your Philadelphia Eagles going down to Detroit, laying what looks like 5.5. I'm seeing 6s at some places. The line's getting a little out of hand here against Detroit. What do you guys got?
No, that's exactly it, Sean. I think I was a little concerned with the Eagles earlier in the week with 4. I was a little hesitant there. And then since it's run up to 5.5 and then some places 6, I'm staying away from the spread. I'm looking at both the spread and the total is pretty tight in the market. So I'm really just looking to enjoy the Birds game, first one of the year. I can't wait. The line move makes me feel better about the Birds. Like now I'm all in terms of them winning this game. I don't think there's any doubt they win the game today. But I'm staying away from the betting perspective. I'm mixing in Dallas Goedert on some touchdown plays that I'm sure we can get into. But that's it for me on this one. Looking forward to the game though.
Go Birds. That's all I got.
Yeah, it looks like the line movement is injury related. It looks like they're missing Halapuli Vaitai, Super Bowl champion for your Philadelphia Eagles at right guard, and also his backup at right guard. So they're on the third string right guard. I lean to the Eagles. I feel my fandom
have a day.
Yeah, right. I feel my fandom getting involved a little bit, so I'm going to stay off. But I do think the boys could come out firing today.
Love that. Now I'm hyped. Oh, if I wasn't hyped already, yeah. Let's get after it.
For sure. Need a big win today for that. Start the season off right.
That's right. Boys, let's do our quick 3 touchdown score parlays real fast. I'll start it off. I love Logan Thomas. Carson Wentz loves his tight ends. Logan Thomas touchdown. Paired in with the Jets defense special teams touchdown. Just because I just genuinely feel in my heart that game's going to get weird at some point, and the Jets are going to look like they're in the mix when they're really not. It'll be similar to Bills-Rams, where it's like, oh, Rams get fool's gold, think they're in it, get smoked. So those 2 mixed with Dalvin Cook, that turns out to be 61-1. So that's mine.
Damn. Sean, I like I'm coming in with a little bit chalkier than Mike, but I'm using my boost on Dallas Goedert, like I mentioned. I like him to score today for the Birds. I like the Logan pick, but I'm going to go with Terry McLaurin, Scary Terry. I'm going to see Wentz and him develop. Well, also, I have Scary Terry on my fantasy team, but I also think that him and Wentz, they try to get it going early this season. And then I also like Jonathan Taylor to get in the end zone against the Texans. Even a little chalkier there with the DK boost that got me to just under 9-1. So I like that for my touchdown scores. What do you got?
Yeah, I like that one a lot, Rob. For me, I did a little quarterback theme to kick off the holiday here. I went with Hurts, Lamar, and Kyler, all to score touchdowns.
What's your number?
That's tasty.
It was, I want to say 14-1, I think it was. I forget what it was, but I think it was 14-1. That's definitely hitting. Put that in. You're welcome.
All right, I want to close this off with just a quick chaos parlay.
Ooh.
Just went through and just all the weird things I could see happening. That's what I took. Steelers outright. Texans plus 7.5. I'm not comfortable enough taking them money line. Jets money line. Pats money line. Browns money line. Commanders money line. Giants money line. That's at plus 55,000, ladies and gentlemen. Throw a couple dollars on there.
That's how you kick off the NFL season.
Throw a couple dollars on there. Save yourself that grub. You're spending $30 later to spending $30 on a Grubhub fee. Not even for the food. Throw a couple dollars on there. Treat yourself. Yeah, boys, I feel good about it. I'm so excited. I think we go get situated and get the war room ready.
Yeah, I'm ready to rock.
Yeah, I can't wait for week
All right, everybody.
Let's get this money.